Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. So it's Saturday morning here in Dubai. There's a lot to report on. As you guys know, Bitcoin pulled back quite heavily last night to around $52,500. What does this mean? Like, what's going to happen next? I'm going to give you my opinion on that and show you some facts as well, and also give you some thoughts about XRP here as well, because there is some interesting developments happening both in the ecosystem but also with price action yesterday. Now I'm a bit tired, as you guys probably saw. I was up on Twitter until like 2 a.m. last night. Not solely on Twitter, I must admit. It's Friday night and the Call of Duty beta was out, so I was playing that as well. With my friends, and my dad actually plays on there, so weirdly enough, but it's nice way to be able to speak to him. But anyway, enough about me. I actually just also burnt my mouth on my coffee, so that's in the back of my mind. So if my thoughts aren't, I feel like my thoughts aren't flowing yet. As I said, it's like 9 o'clock. Went to bed at 2. Probably got up at like 8. Not quite with it yet. But anyway, Bitcoin. We've talked about this area of liquidity for weeks, literally since the top. Since the bottom. Literally since the bottom, we've talked about this area of liquidity. If you follow me on X, I post out about it most days, giving you an update on Bitcoin's liquidity. Yesterday, we took that liquidity, which is fantastic. I think it's 80% of the time, bots manipulate prices into areas of large liquidity. So that's happened. We've taken that, and then there's now a large area of liquidity above us, up around $67,000 for Bitcoin. So there could be a retracement bounce, and we could push up to this level. And we've obviously got liquidity building above us. This is where people like jump in short in the market when we come down to the bottom end of the support in a range. Happens all the time, pretty standard. However, there is a negative always, but it's this, and we've talked about this too. There is a shitload of liquidity here at 46k, just below our lows that we set back on the 5th of August. It's a lot, but it's not as much as what we actually wicked out. Look at 50k on the 5th of August. So there is a lot, but we haven't really added much to it while we've been like chopping around in this range. There's people who are long down in this area. It's mostly like lower leverage longs, like 10x's down here, who are still holding their longs open. And if we take us to the daily time frame, it shows us 3x's and 10x's, and you can see it more clearly on the daily. I've taken us to the daily here. Let's get rid of these. So we've got a mixed bag at the minute. Here is where I'm looking at. I personally believe that I've had obviously that drawn in, saying this is possible. Lower end of the spectrum, potentially down to like 44.8, possibly 41. Like, how much weight do I put on like 41? I think, like if I was going to say percentage chance of 41, I'd say like 15%, but it's still a chance. If I was going to say here, 48, being where we are in this term, in terms of like where we've just grabbed liquidity from, I'd say 50-50. And I say 50-50 because when you look historically, and I've talked about this to you guys before, let's get rid of these drawings now. Don't need these anymore. A lot of liquidity sat below us when we're at these levels. This is very, I'm going to compare this to something as well in a second. But remember this structure here from literally about the same time last year, 17th of August sort of area. I think we're around here. Genuinely think this is where we are right now for crypto. This little dip here, we're 11th of September, pretty bang on time-wise. We've got this liquidity below us. Everyone expected this liquidity to get taken. Didn't take it. And yeah, that's basically where I think we are. So the point about the liquidity is we do leave liquidity behind. Like, this was solid liquidity. Look how much there was here. And we left it all behind. These longs all closed out for a big profit. And then as you can see, like, the liquidity disappears as we start to like move up because these longs are like closing out. Obviously, a few people were still in. It's probably just people in 3x positions. big amount of people in 3x or 5x positions, or some lucky people still in their 20x, well, not really any 25x, but some people still in their 10x positions. Lucky boys. So, do I think it's possible? Yes, I do think it's possible. But I'd say this area is 50-50 towards the 46.5, probably lower end 45k. And I would say this area here at 41 that we've just covered is 15% possible, but still possible. And then I would say the likelihood that we go and set a new all-time high, where that all-time high might be, I think we probably start a bull run because people, and I'm going to explain why in a second, but I would say the likelihood we come up here, I don't know whether it's before or after this, but it's 90% or 80%, 85% that we start to head up into this area. And that isn't correlated to the 15% that if we come lower. That's completely an irrelevant statistic or a different statistic. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at in my head. Positives and negatives in terms of funding. Negatives are open interest is still pretty high. Like, look, we've still got all this open interest here. Positives are funding is negative, which doesn't exactly mark a bottom, as you can see. Let me just make this section bigger. Doesn't exactly mark bottoms, but when we get periods of it, it shows that we're close to a bottom. Here, for example, close to a bottom. Yes, we did have an extra flush out. I'm not saying we couldn't. Here, we're literally at the bottom. Here, we're literally at a bottom. Yeah, we bounced up, did have a flush out later on. And then if we just go back and look at these other areas, here, we're just marching higher. Here, near a bottom, on the bottom essentially. And after a big pullback, this is literally the bottom as well. Same here, negative, near the bottom, pretty much on the bottom. And same here as we start to push off into this positive area. And then here, back in November of 22, when Bitcoin was down at 15k, literally the exact bottom. So funding's telling us we're close. Open interest telling us we still have some leverage in the system, but that leverage could be long as well. As I've shown you, there's long leverage up here, but there's some short leverage below us. So finally with Bitcoin, I just want to show you this. This is what I've written about in depth in the newsletter. I really think that if you want my broader opinion on what I think is going to happen next in crypto, you should please go out and check my newsletter. Last week I wrote about liquidity, how the DXY, and how the fact that rates are going to be dropping in September, how this has affected markets and what I think this means for us going forwards. This week I've written about what I started to write about at the start of the year, which is that I thought people were going to rotate into gold, which is what they've done. Gold went to all-time highs. I'm going to publish all this. It's all out there anyway, so you guys can go and find it if you actually do look through my work. At the start of the year, I made a point of me and Pav, who edits my the newsletter with me and writes the charts of the week section, said to him, I really think there's going to be uncertainty this year, and I think that's going to push people into gold, and that's what's happened. But then I think as the uncertainty dies and money becomes cheaper, or as we come out the back of this uncertain period, which we're still in, I think people will rotate that money into crypto and we'll have one of the biggest bull runs we've ever seen. So that's where I think we are. So I wrote about this, Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Remember when I was just showing you the charts a second ago, I was saying, please remember this area. This is the area at 24k where we left that liquidity behind. This is where we were in the Fear and Greed Index. We're actually down at 31.6. It's not showing us right now because it's obviously a screenshot. And right now we're down below that at 30, and I presume we're even lower today. So let me just check that. Go on CoinMarketCap quickly to use the same one that I used yesterday. 26 today. 26 today. Much lower. So this is where we were there, 31.8, look. And then this is where we are today, 25.26. So we are right now capitulation in terms of how people feel about the market. I genuinely believe the value of buying right now is really big. Risk to reward, buying right now, even on like low leverage, probably decent. 3x, 4x, decent, probably. As I said, 15% chance we come down to 41, 42. 50-50 whether we hit that 45, and that means obviously there's a 50% chance I think we probably continue to set either higher lows or retest this week and grind up from here. So that's where I am in my thinking for Bitcoin and the market in general. Please do take some of my thoughts into consideration. I know it's a very emotional and difficult time for people when they watch their portfolio get beat up over months, and then we see a flush out towards the end. If this is the end, I could be wrong. I know it's difficult, and you've got people out there saying bullshit, like literally people just chat shit online. And I think something I would like everyone to realize is that a lot of people just reiterate what other people say to get attention. I'm not one of those people. I try and give my opinion, whether I'm right or wrong, and I try and back it up with facts, and I also back it up with my thoughts and what I've learned about the market. My knowledge has definitely got gaps in it, but I will always give you my honest opinion. It's just what you do with that opinion, and that's why I'm just saying, like, just have a listen to what I'm saying and take your emotion away from it. I'm there with you. It is hard, and so I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not. So just to finish off, I'm going to talk about XRP. XRP actually in a price level has moved into this candle that we talked about and literally taken this candle here. I'll show you it again on this chart. This is what we talked about that I thought we'd wick into this candle. I said I thought 52 would be a good place to stop. We actually came all the way down last night to 50, and now we're back up at that 52. That's why I said this ABC. I was never sure about this ABC, and I said, look, it could come down into this grey box. I would say we're pretty much, if not finished, this ABC correction, depending on obviously what Bitcoin does here. Interestingly, giving us maybe a hint towards the future, XRP against Ethereum yesterday, that's ETH Bitcoin, my bad. XRP against Ethereum yesterday had its highest daily close since August the 8th. We've been looking for this close above this level. Nothing's confirmed yet, but let me just show you on a smaller time frame. This is on the 4 hourly. The highest close look we've had for a long while in terms of 4 hour. We're setting these higher lows continually, and we have been for weeks, and the trend is continuing as we speak. And if we look on the weekly time frame, this is why I'm getting excited. And we've got one more day left for the weekly here. Let me move that out of the way so you can see. This is XRP against ETH. We've outperformed since, well, you can call this a green candle here. So since June the 10th, we've actually outperformed ETH steadily for 12 weeks. And percentage-wise from the bottom, I've just missed my click. Percentage-wise from the bottom to where we are right now, it is a rise to the exact point of 73% outperformance against Ethereum. So it's easy to sit here and be bearish on XRP, but actually we've outperformed ETH by 73% since June. So does that mean it's going to continue? No, we are looking for these closes, for these explosive candles, and I do think they're coming. XRP against Bitcoin, a little bit slower. I mean, ETH's getting beaten up a little bit at the minute. XRP against Bitcoin's a little bit slower. We're still chopping around, trying to work out what we're doing here as well. We would like to see some outperformance of XRP against Bitcoin and ETH in this time period. On the weekly time frame, though, let's just get in on XRP, and you can see what I'm talking about. This is the big line we want to close above. We're really close to it. We're working it out. And I think the reason we're working it out and it's taking so long, guys, is because when it does happen, this is when we get these explosive moves that I've talked about. This is the same line, bang. They're huge, huge candles. Working it out. Yes, this one grinds up to the other resistance level that I've drawn in, and then big candles, big candles, big candles. So that's what we're considering here for XRP. And finally, there is a narrative to go along with it for XRP. I just want to quickly touch on, and then that's the end of this video. We saw the drama on Twitter about basically devs in the community arguing with like Ripple devs, saying that Ripple are flip-flopping, they've changed their opinion on things, and now like why aren't they introducing the changes we've made, etc. That's my opinion on what's happening. It doesn't mean I'm necessarily right. And Vind, he was cross about a lot of stuff, and I can relate to why. But yesterday he had a call with I don't know what, with Mayuka Vadari, who is the senior software engineer at RippleX, work there. And essentially what I got from it was, this is a quote from Vin toward the end. I'm excited about the future of the XRPL, and conversations like this help shape that future. We might not have all the answers yet, but by working together and staying open to new ideas, I believe we'll find the right path forward. basically saying that they're in discussion, whereas before they were throwing shit at each other. Well, basically the devs were throwing shit at Ripple, and now they're having a chat. And I think this is a narrative that could back up the interesting point that we are in terms of price action. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you did enjoy, please do subscribe and share it with a friend. And I do implore you to please go and read the newsletter. Obviously, it's like, I love it that you guys read it. I've got like 600 readers nearly now. But the last 2 weeks, I think, are very important in terms of what I've written if you want to understand my thinking on the markets. Don't get too scared out there. Remember, the markets don't give a shit about how you feel. It's just price action. And I know that's hard to remember, especially when you've got people all over social media giving you different opinions, probably blowing your head up. But just stay cool, have a look at the facts, and make your own decisions. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.